controls everything. Take a slide. Schumer controls the votes.
A car loaded with bombs exploded this morning outside the United States Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon.
The group is believed to be pro-Iranian.
19 American airmen were killed while they slept at the Khobar Towers complex in Saudi Arabia.
2 American embassies blown up in East Africa minutes ago.
An explosion claimed the lives of at least 4 sailors on one of our naval vessels, the USS Cole, this morning.
The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee tells Fox that all signs point to Iranian-linked terrorists.
Iran and Hezbollah has now provided expertise to the insurgents.
In front of a crowd chanting "Death to America," Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei agreed.
You want to put it on? No. Oh, I want you to photograph all of them.
All right.
Where you going, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, our speakers, can you please rise for the Star-Spangled Banner? Please join us in the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to stop, and let me give you optimism. As this movement begins here in New York, we will stop this corrupt, debauched agreement of capitulation to the Islamist Republic of Iran. We will stop this agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, pleased to present to you the former chairman of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, the co-founder of Boston Properties, the owner of the Daily News, the editor-in-chief of U.S. News and World Report, a great American, great New Yorker. Please welcome Mort Zuckerman.
Good evening, all. It's wonderful to see such a wonderful crowd. Not going to come in. Quiet. It's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see all of you here, because we are all now faced with an extreme crisis. I speak to you with the conviction and devotion of a lifetime to the welfare of Israel. This means we have to stop the suicidal agreement that permits Iran to build a nuclear infrastructure. It is effectively the stopping of a terrorist state from going nuclear. What do you hear in Iran? Death to America, death to Israel, death to Jews anywhere. Their mobs chant it, their leaders mean it. This was made clear by Ali Khamenei, Iran's spiritual leader, who in a very recent speech said, "We will humiliate America. Death to Israel and death to America." This is a wake-up call that should sober the American public. He said, "Trade will not change Iran. The lifting of sanctions isn't going to make Iran a moderate country." So it is a false hope that lifting sanctions will make the regime of the Ayatollah more accommodating. They are now stronger, and it is almost impossible to placate the extremists, according to the New York Times. So, can Iran be trusted? You only have to ask the question to know the futility of it. Look at their history of defiance and deceit. Listen to the Arab countries such as Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and the Emirates, and their policy to Iran. As Israeli Prime Minister put it, when Arabs and Israelis agree, it is worth paying attention. Every day of the next 59, we have to make our voice heard in the Congress. It's called on to make a judgment as faithful as any in modern history. The deal does not avoid war. On the contrary, it feeds the flames of war and makes war with Iran more likely. It inspires any number of Arab countries, Saudi Arabia and Egypt, to race to get nuclear weapons on their own. What we have here are the seeds of a vast transformation of the balance of power, away from America's friends and towards America's enemies, and the United States must not contribute to that. It marks a potential turning point in American engagement in the Middle East that pivots from building regional security with a team of longtime allies such as Israel and the Sunni Arab states such as Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, in favor of a balance between those allies and our longtime nemesis, Iran. Also, an imperial subversive Iran will not have to pay for this huge strategic gain by giving up its terror and subversion. The only payment that Iran makes for this huge strategic gain is postponement of its nuclear ambitions for a number of months. The administration must explain and spell out the logic of this strategic balance between our old allies and our potential new one, Iran, that this agreement seems to imply. We are told that it won't happen, that the agreement cuts off every pathway to the bomb. Okay, let me therefore put on the record, the most authoritative voice. This is President Rouhani, who negotiated this deal with our tireless Secretary of State, John Kerry, and the five big powers plus Germany. This is President Rouhani speaking back in Tehran after the handshakes in Vienna. At first, the United States wanted us to be limited to 100 centrifuges. Now we will have 6,000. That's the United States, wanted restrictions to end some 25 years. Now it's 8. The United States, first said we could only have IR-1 centrifuges. Now we can have IR-6, 7, 8 advanced centrifuges. They said, that is the USA, that the heavy water plant in Iraq was to be dismantled. Now it will remain with heavy water under these conditions. That said, that is the United States said, their nuclear plant in Fordo had to be closed. Now they will have 1,000 centrifuges there. Whatever we decide about the nuclear deal, we are letting the Iranian tiger out of the cage. We are ready to feed the beast by approving the release of $140 billion in frozen assets without any commitment on how it will be spent. What are we looking at? A day after Iran and the world power shook hands on this deal, Rouhani did a little bragging. No one can say Iran surrendered, he said. The deal is a legal, technical, and political victory for Iran. It is an achievement that Iran won't be called a world threat anymore. Hey, if that was their ambition, it was easy to make good. Stop encircling Arab states while inciting their Shiite population. Stop menacing Israel with funding of your proxy Hezbollah installation with more than 100,000 rockets. Stop joining with Qatar in rebuilding the tunnels from Gaza. Stop the heinous war of words, the primitive blood libel of Jews. Stop to kill Jews whenever they may be and wherever they may be, not to mention inconvenient Arabs and Kurds. As it is, the sanctions are set to end against Iran. Forget the snapback President Obama told us would happen at any breach. These sanctions took years to put in place and have run out, and will have run out after 10 years. Maintaining that will be very difficult. Only Congress can now stop what I believe will be an unmitigated disaster. But whether Congress votes yes or not, there is urgent work for this administration. Our friends among the Arab nations, along with Israel, feel betrayed. The danger to them, to the United States, and the wounds to our long friendships are such that our partners are looking for two things: a pushback against Iranian arrogance and deeper relations with America. I will quote Winston Churchill, who spoke to the Congress of the United States after Pearl Harbor. What kind of a people do they think we are? We say no, and I ask you to say no along with us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the police are very cooperative with us. However, you all on the west side of the street are blocking the road. And they have told us that if you don't move, they're going to shut down our sound. We have wonderful speakers. Please go to the areas that are allotted for us, because those who are protesting us will say they should be allowed to go where they want to go. So please start moving and listen to New York's finest. They're here to protect us. Please.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to welcome two great journalists. On September 12, 2011, the day after the fall of the Twin Towers, WABC recruited John Batchelor to go on the air until Osama bin Laden was killed or captured. And John has been with us ever since. Monica Crowley is currently the radio host of the Monica Crowley Show, and she served as a foreign policy assistant to former President Nixon and has been on NPR's Morning Edition and many other journal publications and MSNBC. Please welcome John Batchelor and Monica Crowley.
Good afternoon. My name is John Batchelor, and this is WABC Radio right now. It is a pleasure to be in the most important and the most certain city on the planet about what we're talking to, which is the Congress of the United States. The audience for today is the U.S. Congress. Over the next weeks, the U.S. Congress will review what they know of the Iran deal. The Congress will vote. It is important that the Congress have transparency and understand our point of view. Our point of view is very simple. Iran has not earned the trust of the American people. Not this year, not last year, not for the last decades. Iran is a predator state. The nuclear weapons that Iran aims to grab for itself, either now or in the future, are a threat to the United States of America and our ally, Israel. That fact, obvious to us, must be repeated for the next weeks to the Congress. That fact is what Monica Crowley, my colleague and friend and co-host for many years of Fox News, will now address. The people of the United States do not trust Iran. You're good to be here. You're very patient. We're in an exciting part of the world, and for people who don't see, all around me is the commerce of a civilization that right now wants the facts about Iran. I introduce Monica Crowley, who will give you those facts. Monica?
John, can you hear me? Thank you, John, and thank you to everybody who is here, because everybody who is here tonight in Times Square wants to save Western civilization before it's too late. 2 words to begin tonight. Never again. 70 years after the Holocaust, have we forgotten already? Have we already forgotten what it means to say and live the phrase, never again? It seems so. How else can we interpret a deal that legitimizes as a threshold nuclear power the world's most fearsome state sponsor of terror, the key exporter of the Islamic Revolution, one of the most efficient traffickers of deadly weapons, an unapologetic denier of the Holocaust bent on Israel's destruction, the passionate believer of death to America and death to Israel, and the killer of thousands of